Hey guys, today we are making my Italian sloppy joes. I created this recipe a few years ago when we had some Bolognese sauce left over in the fridge, as well as some ciabatta rolls. So I turned them into crispy garlic bread, added some creamy, fresh mozzarella, roasted broccoli rabe, and a star was born. A fun twist on a classic dish that the whole family will love. So let's go get started. Okay, so now, as I said earlier, you can definitely use leftover bolognese for this, but it is worth making the bolognese for, in my opinion. So we're going to make my quick bolognese. Normally, when I make bolognese or any kind of pasta sauce, it usually sits and simmers for a few hours. So this is our quick version, so we can do this for just a regular dinner. So I have 1 small onion diced along with a 1/4 cup of carrots finely diced and a 1/4 cup of celery finely diced with a little bit of oil, and we're just going to saute those for a few minutes until they start to soften. And then I'm adding in 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and we just want to break that up and cook it until it is nice and browned and cooked through. And now I drained off my beef, but that is optional. It depends how fatty your meat was. So then once everything is all cooked and softened, I'm going to add in 2 cloves of minced garlic and just cook that for an additional 30 seconds. Along with some salt and pepper. And then I'm going to add in my spices. So I have some garlic powder, some dried basil, dried oregano, and dried parsley. And you can also add a pinch of sugar to this. I like to do that at the end once I taste it and see if it needs it. So then I'm going to add in about 3 to 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, and a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. So we just want to cook this for about 30 minutes at a simmer or until it's nice and thickened. I like to cover this with my lid that has steam holes in it. You don't have to cover it, I just like to prevent splatter. You could also get a splatter screen for it. So then while that's cooking down, we're going to work on the broccoli rabe. So I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And I have 1 large bunch of broccoli rabe. I cut about 2 inches off the bottom of the stems and discarded those. And then I cut the rest of the bunch into 1-inch pieces. And then I'm tossing that with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and garlic powder. We just want to toss that until it's all nicely coated. And place that on a baking sheet and roast for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then once that's done, you can just set it aside in a bowl and just keep it warm until we're ready. So now the final component of this dish is the garlic bread. So I have these beautiful ciabatta rolls. You could also get a loaf of ciabatta bread. And to that I have some melted butter that I'm just going to brush on all sides. And then I'm just going to sprinkle that with some salt, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and dried parsley. This is the same way I make garlic bread in all of my recipes, so this might look familiar if you've been here for a while. And then we're just going to throw them under the broiler for a couple of minutes until they're nice and golden brown. I always like to keep my oven slightly open so that I can keep an eye on them because they will burn very quickly. All right, so now I'm just tasting the sauce, and I did add a little bit of sugar to help with the acidity, but the carrots add a natural sweetness, so you don't always need that. And look how beautiful and nice and thick that bolognese is. All right, so now to assemble, I'm just going to add about 1 cup of the bolognese sauce to each roll. Toss it with some slices of fresh mozzarella cheese. You can add the cheese to the rolls after they're broiled and cook them for an additional 15 seconds if you want the cheese really melted, but it melts naturally a little bit on its own, but it adds a nice texture, I think, when it's not completely melted. And then we're just gonna top with some of that nice crispy broccoli rabe. And that's that. Look at how beautiful that is. Every time I make these, I think about the next time I'm gonna make them again because they're so good. These just really hit the spot. That perfectly thick bolognese that isn't too sloppy, and that nice creamy fresh mozzarella cheese, and that toasty garlic bread with the freshness of that broccoli rabe. Oh, I hope you guys will give this one a try. If you do, please be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you all had a great weekend, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.